Changers is an in-depth look at up-and-coming leaders of industry who are making major changes in our culture. This month, join us as we follow the rise of Adrene Ashford.
The ways that I find my own motivation are going back to the roots as to why I'm doing what I do. I love fashion, I love interacting with people, and I genuinely love making people feel good about themselves. And regardless of what I'm doing in the world of fashion, whether it be TV, film, editorial, or retail, people feel a certain way when they have good clothes on. They walk different, they stand different, they pose different. And that to me is much more than a thank you. When I see you stand up and you kind of have a swag about yourself, or your essence is just glorified to the 10th power, it lets me know that I did my job. And so there is no need for a thank you. I could just keep going because I genuinely love it. One of the things that I love about my essence and what I do is that I'm able to bounce back and forth. I can work with the celebrities, I can bounce into my store and work with the everyday customer and make them feel like a celebrity through wardrobe and through fashion. I love it because I see the transition. And I was that girl that wanted to look a certain way in high school. I was very, very taken back when my mom was like, "You don't want to shop in Kmart, you're embarrassed, then you need to go get your own job." And that's exactly what I did. And from that moment on, I became an entrepreneur at 9 years old. At that time, I'd go to the swap meet, and my little $100 from working for a couple weeks went a long way. And I put some outfits together for myself, and I felt good. I felt a certain way. And I always thought, gosh, if I could make other people feel like how good I feel, I wonder if they would be that much happier to be a better world. And that's just kind of the way that I flowed. Me being able to transition that and adrenalize, it's my synonymous name for good energy, and to adrenalize customers and clients the way that I felt those days when I would go to the swap meet and find a fly outfit I thought in my eyes made me super hot. It makes me feel good to know that I can do that for somebody. You know, I've always been a very confident young lady. I was always raised and told by my grandma and my mom that I could do anything. So in my mind, I really believe that I can do anything. I am yours truly, Adrene, owner of House of Adrene Boutique. I'm also a celebrity stylist. I'm in the ATL. I am located on 264 Peter Street. Well, you know what's interesting is a lot of times when people don't walk in your shoes or in your stilettos, they kind of take your job for granted. And there was one time where I did some work on a TV show, on a series, and after I left, there was a breakdown in the wardrobe department. And while I was there was a lot of assumption, oh, this is a breeze, you know, we can do this with our eyes closed. But as soon as I left, the whole thing kind of fell apart. So then the producers had to turn around and call me back. And for a minute, I had to ask myself, do I go? Because I sort of felt some kind of way while I was there, as in I felt devalued. But at the end of the day, I love my work. And I said, you know what? Be the bigger person, go in, run circles around this project, and let them marinate on your job then, and let's see what happens. Coming out of college, I was blessed to get into UCLA Law School. I didn't really have the financial means to go because your first year of law school, you're not supposed to work. And then of course, you know, there's those good old student refund checks you get in school. Well, I was supposed to be saving those for tuition, and I never did. I was trying to keep up with the Joneses, the Combses, and everybody else shopping. And so naturally, when it came down to graduation, Mom was like, okay, cool, you ready to go? You can pack your stuff, come home. And I'm like, I don't have any money. She's like, well, why don't you have any money? And then she took one look at my closet and it was a wrap. She's like, oh yeah, you need to sell all this stuff. So basically, it was a means to ends for me with the law school decision because I didn't really have enough money to go home. While I did have shelter, I could live at home with my mom. how was I gonna eat, how was I gonna get to and from school, etc., etc. And so I got into selling the clothes that I personally had and having these personal fashion parties in my apartment in Atlanta. And that spiraled into people calling me to ask them on photo shoots, to help them and assist them with photo shoots, whether they were aspiring to be models, actresses, or whatnot. They would ask me to help them put a look together because they felt like I always kind of had a knack for it. Little did I know that doing that and helping people out on photo shoots would land me an opportunity to become a celebrity stylist several years later. But I was discovered inadvertently by Puffy. Actually, the woman that really discovered me is my sorority sister, Brianna Rogers. But basically, the marketing firm Blue Flame, which is owned by Puff, called me up and they were like, "What's your rate?" And I'm like, "My rate for what?" And they're like, "Well, we want you to dress so-and-so. Puff is coming out with a clothing line, Sean John." This tells you how old I am. He's coming out with this clothing line, Sean John, and we need a stylist for the runway shows, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, "You want to pay me to do this?" I just threw a number out there, which was super low. But you know, at the end of the day, I wouldn't trade that for anything. I would have worked for free. For the exposure and the opportunity that I had, because that opportunity was ultimately the opportunity that led me into entrepreneurship that completely changed my life. Becoming a lawyer is something that I have never thought about ever since. I deferred my enrollment. I started a store. Simultaneously, I started styling. I was working with 3LW, Toni Braxton, you know, and it just grew from there. And then I went on to Oscar Award winner Jennifer Hudson, Sierra. I'm doing TV and film now, editorials, and just to see my ad campaign. I was at the VMAs 2 weeks ago, and just to see my ad campaign in Times Square blew me back. My hair was like, oh my God, because it was so like, I'm like, oh my God, does this mean I made it? But for all these years in my mind, I'm just building, building, building. So I've never really got to the place where I'm like, yeah, I made it. Even though people come and they're like, oh, help me, how do I get on? You made it, I want to be like you. I've never felt that I've made it, you know. What does it really mean to make it? Does that mean that you're in a better financial bracket than someone else? You do more consistent work than someone else? I don't know what that really means. I just know that I'm living in my own success and truth because I've grown. And success to me is growing and not being in the same place as you were yesterday. What makes me want to be an extending hand and give back to people, or even help people get exposure if they're an emerging designer, or they just have some emerging idea that they want to test and explore? I just feel like I don't see enough of that in our community. The reason that I chose to go to a black college is because it was very nurturing. I found it to be a place where people helped one another. And that's one of the greatest experiences that I learned attending Clark Atlanta University, where you make a way when you find one. And a lot of people don't know how to find one. And so if I'm in a position where I can help someone, I want to do that, because not only am I being a blessing to someone, but it allows me to continue to be blessed. I want to continue to excel. I want to continue to be the best me and be the best self that I can be. And the only way that I genuinely feel that you can do that is when you extend yourself and you are a helping hand to someone else. That is what community is all about. And I'm African American, I'm Hispanic, and I'm Indian, and in my Hispanic community, that is how it goes. Like, you know, plenty of people laugh and they're like, oh, there's 20 of them in a house, but guess what? 20 people come out stronger than they were before, and at the end of the day, that's what I saw a lot of. And that's who I am, and that's what I'm about. It's like, help 20 people if you can. If you can't help 20, help one. You know, do what you can to be a blessing to someone else, because more blessings are in store for you.
Okay. And my last question, we're talking about women, African American women, and sometimes we, in our community, have an issue, like African American women, black women, culture, and working together. What is it that makes it so hard for people to be comparing. You have other cultures looking at Atlanta Housewives and other reality shows, R&B divas, and they tune in to watch them fight. What is it about our culture, in your experience, that makes this a reality? Why does it happen? Talk about it happening to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm currently going through something like that with someone, and you know, black women, a lot of times, well, let me just say this, it's not just black women that are constantly at each other's necks and there's this haterism thing going on. It is a woman thing. Women, we are passionate, we are emotional, and depending on what day of the week it is, you might get a different person. I can speak for myself. You know, I genuinely wake up and I'm a happy person. But if I feel like someone is coming in to disrespect me intently, knowing that this is an issue for me, then I'm on guard, and naturally I'm here to protect my investment. And at the end of the day, I'm a different type of businesswoman. I'm a self-made businesswoman. I'm a woman that has invested her own hard-earned blood, sweat, and tears, dollars, cents, and pennies into this business. So I'm gonna go all out to do whatever I can to make my business shine. I'm gonna do all I can to make sure my business is on the forefront. Now, if I feel that someone is coming in to threaten that or outright disrespect that, then I'm gonna be on guard and I'm gonna stand up to the challenge of whoa, hold up. You know, and that creates controversy because we as women do different things, we operate differently, we come from different backgrounds, we make our decisions based on different things. I'm currently in a situation where I'm coupled up with someone who we have two different business mindsets. This person has an investor, I don't. So what I don't take for granted, this person takes for granted, and we just do business differently. And I've had to learn to be the bigger person and step back and say, we do business differently. I don't personally have anything against you. This is business for me. But please do understand, at any given moment, when you come for my business, you better be prepared because I'm going to stand there and I'm going to fight you all the way. That is just where I am, and I think we as women are warriors of our emotions, of our hearts, and we don't intend, well, let me say it to you this way. We're all cut from different cloths. We all come from different backgrounds. Some women have nothing else to do but start trouble. And then there are women that are genuinely out there working hard to elevate their businesses, and when they feel threatened or they feel like someone's coming to tear down what they have, they're gonna be standing there ready to go to war over their business, and any businesswoman that you ask will say the same thing. And that creates controversy, and you all know controversy sells, and therefore we have reality shows.